Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And today, it's one for the ages that's coming upon us, ladies and gentlemen. You notice the stock market goes up, the FOREX markets are going up. It does not matter if you invest in the appropriate vehicles, assets, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you're going to need. FOREX or stock market. Why not both? Gold or silver? Why not both? Real estate or bonds? Hold up. Bonds at 4%, 4.1%? I don't think so. Grants or having to work for your money? All of that on tap, ladies and gentlemen, that we're going to talk about tonight. As long as you're here, the chat room is open, and welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Money Making Monday. Stop struggling now, gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. So tonight, I've added another stream of live streaming. This is going to be very, very interesting because there's a delay when I add way too many platforms that we stream to, but we're going to try it again this evening. I may have to end one of them. But I see you, Alan D. Jedi or something along that, the DJ. Alan Die the DJ. I see you. Thank you so much for being in the house and elsewhere. Make sure you share the video because you never know who's out here looking for information. Make sure you let up going on out here, ladies and gentlemen. And look who's in the house on this Money Making Monday. Welcome, Mr. Law of Compensation, to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Are you guys enjoying the VOO, the VOOG, these index funds, all-time record highs, and you get to come along for the ride just by investing in an index fund? That's not bad. The individual stocks themselves, that's not bad. I think you're winning, ladies and gentlemen. And again, welcome, Mr. Law of Compensation, to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he brings the simple taglines of SSN family. I appreciate that. And make sure everybody here, the gear. It's familiar. That's right. We have gear. StopStrugglingNow.com. And we are now remonetized. We were demonetized for over a year, ladies and gentlemen, for harmful rhetoric. In other words, telling you like it is harmful rhetoric. That's crazy out here. That's what they're doing to us now. But make sure you guys go over to Mr. Law of Compensation's channel here on YouTube, Instagram. Everybody on Instagram, you guys too, go over. See Mr. Law of Compensation or Mr. Compensation, depending on TikTok and other factors. Go check him out. Show some love. He's part of the SSN Nation family, as you guys very, very well know. All right. Yell Dennis is in the house. He may have answers for, is it Forex, is it stocks, or is it both? Or is it gold and silver? What is it with regard to assets? And welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. There's some people out here doing the salsa dance because they love getting dividends from our favorite Yield Max ETF funds. I have to admit, like I told you guys before, I like to tell you how it goes. Yael Dennis brings a tagline that says, "Good night, family." That's right. Good evening to everybody out here. Thank you, Yale Dennis, for being in the house. Greatly appreciated. And EV Place is here. Businessman, real estate investor, and stock market investor as well. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. Good evening, everyone. And he says, let's do this. That's what we do out here, ladies and gentlemen. We try to help you because it's going to get a lot harder. I feel bad for a lot of people here in America because government shutdown is looming. Do you know what that means? A lot of people do not understand. They're out here worrying about FOREX, stock markets, gold, silver, real estate, grants and money, all of that. But the bottom line is, what if you don't have a job in 3 to 5 days? And you're watching a clock tick down where your government is sitting there saying, we want to do a lot of things that can hurt people and a lot of things that's going to shift money away from helping people. And therefore, a lot of people could be, unfortunately, laid off. But EV Place, let's bring the tagline. He says, good evening, everyone. Let's do this. And by the way, EV Place, he has what we call a backup plan. Real estate outside of America, check. Business of his own, check. Those are some of the tenets here in the SSN Nation, ladies and gentlemen. Banking account outside of America, much needed, I highly suggest it. Speaking of getting laid off by our government, we have a president that actually threatened if legislation, meaning Congress, does not do something and does not avoid the government shutdown, he actually is threatening American lives. He said he's going to lay people off, federal workers. That is his threat. If you don't do what I say, I'm going to hurt hundreds of thousands of people by laying them off, firing them. You know, it's nice and cushy when you have a federal job. You have your health care and, you have pensions and you have a few other perks. And threatening that is very, very bad. So if they do not get this thing handled, it's going to be some more pain for American citizens instead of, running a government properly. All right. This we get to take advantage of, ladies and gentlemen. What happens when a government shutdown does happen? Well, if you're going to be messing around with gold and silver and some precious metals and things of this nature, XAU, USD, they will go up just like last night, just like all day, all-time record highs in some of these commodities, some of these stocks, and definitely stocks, because another all-time high in one of the stock indexes or two. So therefore, that's why, ladies and gentlemen, you need to pay attention to what your government does because you get to make business opportunities for yourself and your loved ones. All right. Post-retirement travels in the house. Another investor is here. Index, the stock market's wheel strategy for option income trading, real estate, and the list goes on and on. Mr. Worldwide 2 is about to take off again. And welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. Hello, all. Let's do this. And that's what we do. We support our own, ladies and gentlemen. You see post-retirement travel here on the screen and on Instagram and everywhere else. You guys need to subscribe to his channel because when he goes on his worldwide tour too, he's going to be dropping some awesome locations and videos and pictures so you guys can check it out just in case you want to live abroad outside of the USA. Now, you know what? I haven't even checked my back office to see if, Google remonetize me. Oh, and by the way, thank you so much for EV Place and Post Retirement Travel for being members of the channel because, hey, we have memberships again. We have ads again. All of that is back. But again, Robert Speller, I see you on Instagram, man. Thank you for being in the the house. But again, you guys, the rule goes 1 year, 3 months is what you have to get a 775 credit score. You win twice. You pay down your debt. You get that out the way. So that way, when credit freezes, when things are getting a little bumpy, you will have your debt under control, which is the number one thing right now that you're going to have to get over, because all prices are going to go up. All energy, all insurances, all property taxes, everything's going up. Therefore, you have to make more money than you're making right now. And it's going to be very, very difficult as our economy shrinks. So, again, everybody get prepared. You have 1 year, 3 months before things go sideways, if not before then, but at least you'll halfway be there. Hi, Eric. My question for today: is it good to use margin? Yeah, Dennis, I do not recommend using margin. The reason why, if you do something like that, remember, whatever you pledge as the asset, that means it could go bye-bye if what you're doing goes sideways. So the question is it worth it for you to take that risk? Now, a lot of people would say, well, I'm going to do 30%. I'm going to do 50% margin. Again, I don't have those point of views. If you're going to use margin, it should stay well under 20% or less, in my opinion, because when there is even a semi crash, what do I mean by that? Let's just say, for the sake of argument, your stock price is at 100. Because some news comes out during the day that seems so devastating, and then the stock price goes down 20% to $80. It goes to $79.95. Because your margin, you could have that gone. This is why playing around with margin is very, very risky. And especially in a volatile situation when you don't know what is going to happen. Generally, when there's a shutdown, the markets do something. You just don't know what's going to happen. High risk in a stable environment, which is hard to come by these days. In a stable environment, you may be fine. But again, you're in a risky scenario when you decide to do that, because just think about this. Go look over, like, for instance, Tesla, right? Just a month ago, their price went poof, probably below 10%, 20, it probably reached 20%. If you would have had margin of just 30%, you would have had a problem. All right. So just think about it, or 20%, you could have had a problem. But now their stock price bounced back up, but your stuff would have been gone. So again, you're risking something when you borrow. Just keep that in mind. So be very, very careful. I'm sure others will say something. Now, I have to go back and do something. I got to show some love. First things first, let's talk about grants. And then I'm going to talk about EV Place, because he has a business that's going to help out the guys that love their speaker systems in homes, in their vehicles. This guy has something that's very, very special. So we're going to talk about renewable energies. But before I get into that, we talked about loans and we talked about a few other things. So let me start with the grants, because grants or money. Do you want to work for money, or do you want some grants? Do you want a little bit of help? Well, then you go to findhelp.org, ladies and gentlemen. This right here can help you save money, because there's services that people don't even know about in America. And all you have to do is put down your zip code after you go to findhelp.org. All right. This is part of your grants and money you want, right? That's where you go. You go there to go check it out. I know it's awesome. And I'm trying to find, I don't believe this. I usually have it on tap. Let me do it this way, because, I got to add it to the screen. And this is where you go get help. All right. Why can't I find this? Okay, I'll just do it this way. Here you go. In the chat rooms around the internet, you will see it in the chat room. I'll be posting it up, ladies and gentlemen. So again, This is where you can go get some help. Again, remember when there's people that come over from outside the United States and people go, how come they get to know about everything? What's going on? Well, because when they come across the border, they get help, not because of findhelp.org, but they give them other things that immigrants will qualify for. In America, they don't give you no list. They don't say, hey, if you need some help, here's the list. Here's the people to go see. Hell no, you got to go look for it for yourself. You got to fend for yourself. Unless, of course, you're one of the rich guys and you get subsidies, you get tax breaks, you get to lobby the United States government to make sure that you're taken care of. But the rest of the population, the bottom 80%, good luck. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. All right. Findhelp.org, ladies and gentlemen. And that ranges for a lot of things. You have mental health problems, go see caregiving. Go see mental health at 211.org. You need help with taking care of somebody is caregiving. You go there. You find it. You find the places funded. You call. They may say, hey, we take this, we take that. You might need state insurance. You might need some other Medicare, Medi-Cal, Medicaid, whatever the case may be. They can help you. If you're disabled, if you're looking for a job training, if you need bus passes, if you need down payment for help on a home, buying a home, if you need rental help assistance, if you need energy bill assistance, it depends on your city, state, and what they offer in their city, state, county. But there are nonprofits everywhere. You call them up, see if they can help you. Findhelp.org. Let's talk about grants or having to work for money. Now, since you have to work for money, you start your own little side business, right? And if you have a side business, then you might want to be like EV Place. And why do I say that? Because I'm about to put this in the chat room as well. You go check out his eBay page for all of you car lovers and home speaker system lovers. He has a renewable system inside of a vehicle, so you can get, depending on how much you put in there, because he can parallel the power source. But can you guys believe something like, I can't really remember everything, but 700 watts, is that good enough to add to your system? And using inductors, which gives you more power, and it's renewable. If your car is shut down, can you believe an hour? And if you parallel, you can get 2 hours of nonstop music. And then when you drive your car, it recharges up. Renewable energy, ladies and gentlemen. And he puts it in the back of your vehicle. Custom made is what I understand as well can be done. You know, we love custom made, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get real. All right. So there's Yael Dennis. Hopefully, I'm sure some other people, Yael is going to be here that's going to help answer that question. All right. So down below in the description box, eBay, you see that? That is for the actual renewable energy source. So you like an awesome sound system in your vehicle, this is the man. Go check it out. And you want more speakers, more items in your vehicle, he can actually add more power. And again, it's renewable. Is that sweet or what? All right. Think about it. Okay, there you go. Is it good to use margin? I'm sure others may chime in about that. Ready to back up the truck tomorrow. See, this is what I'm talking about. By the way, okay, speaking of backing up the truck, I agree with you. I just said I can't take it anymore with the all-time highs because I don't want to pick stocks. So, today I had to say, where's the VOO? Where's the VOOG? I need some. I got to get some. That's what had to happen, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you have to do out here. We're loading up tomorrow with this potential government shutdown. Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly my thoughts. And I started my thoughts today because I was like, hold on, what am I waiting for? Let me just go get it because I believe no matter what happens, anyhow, it's going to rise because we already are going to give them tax cut, tax breaks, buy back their own shares of stock. So we're going to have an increase in prices. So I'm like, no, they just get it today. I don't care about all-time highs. But somebody here, MD, no, I shouldn't give him credit because I don't remember who it is, but I think it was him who said 20x. These companies are 20x or more. These 20x or more are carrying the indexes. So the VOOs, the BlackRocks, and all these guys, we're making money. It's going up. Now, just saying, FOREX or stock market. FOREX, if you were in that today, you were also doing the salsa dance. Well, I shouldn't say that unless you were doing XAUUSD, because that took off to the races this morning. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It was '05, and then it went up to and then it went up to 40. All of that ticks up, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of profit to be made. So remember, some people said don't use the bot. Some people said use the bot. Well, the bot started buying upward. I could not believe what I was seeing. I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be a good day. So again, the bot worked. I actually took some positions myself, of course, because I was like, hold up now. I got to get in on the fun of this a little bit too, because I'm just going to sit here and let it ride up all day. I don't even have to do anything. Government shutdowns actually increase XAU USD. I mean, government shutdown does not. It will go down. So all I'm trying to say is government shutdown is, let me reiterate because I confuse people. Government shutdown is good. People look for safe havens to put their money in. Gold is one of them. All right. So just keep that in mind. That's why the talk is why gold is rising right now. People are looking to put their money in safe havens. Gold, silver, both. Get a little bit. Crypto, go kind of. I'm the jury's out. But let's get real, right? He's right. Ready to back up the truck. Exactly. I love it. All right, here we go. EV Place says I booked tickets to the island 28th through 7th of November to check everything myself. Okay, man, I saw a video. Somebody was at your spot, and I saw people that still had the circular stairs upstairs. There was a guy that just popped up yesterday who was at your location. I go, man, I guess some people, they haven't gotten around to moving people's spiral staircase outside on the balcony with no safety net. They're like acting like people were supposed to be trapeze artists. No safety net. Go upstairs. That's crazy. That's real crazy right now. That's out of control. But I'm happy to hear that, EV Place, and get your negotiations face to face. I love it. At y'all, Dennis, hello. My opinion, if you use margin, here are my two rules. Don't go below 50% and only buy blue chip ETFs like SPY, QQQ, VOO. I think that's a very solid plan. ETFs has always gone up eventually. I agree with this 100%. So he goes, don't go below 50%. When I said 20%, that I'm referring to, now I'm not going with 80% is what I'm saying. I'm going with, I don't even like 50. But I'm saying 30 as in you have a $10,000 and then you say I want to do margin on 3 grand. That's 30%. All right. So whatever you have in there, if it goes down 31%, they take your stuff, you'll have 7 grand left or less than that, 6,800, 6,900, whatever. But now SPYQQQVOO goes to all-time highs. There was a one-day smash because of something our government did or some companies layoffs or whatever the case may be. Bad news, whatever. It spiked down and then popped up. We have so much volatility in our markets these days. You have to be very careful about borrowing on margins. All right. But I agree with this 110%. Don't be messing around. All right. Because a lot of people are going to get margin called over the next year and 3 years. I'm not saying going to do long term, but you just never know. So there's going to be margin calls. Even today, things go boom and then pop back up. So you got to be very careful. All right. Just be very careful. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Also, while I'm thinking about it, let me put the eBay for all those that like their car speakers around the internet. I see you, Gino. Vese Music, I see you also. Don't worry about it, everybody. But by the way, again, we have memberships. That's why you may see special icons with EV Place and Post Retirement Travel. I thank them very much for being members of the channel and the support because we are now monetized. Once again, watch those ads. They're free. Smash the like button. That's free. What more can we ask for? A lot of things are free, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Now let's get to the other factors that we're going to have to deal with over the coming months. All right. Real estate or bonds. Now, I put this in there as a trick question. The reason why I put it in there as a trick question is because I'm trying to figure out why you would buy bonds at 4.1%. That's the only thing I don't understand, because you're going to lose on inflation. Even if you said it's a nice little way to do things, we don't have a stable environment. So you cannot afford to have 15 to 20% inflationary numbers. And people go, what's he talking about? They said it's only 2.9%. Yeah, because they don't include food and energy prices. Energy prices have damn near doubled 100%. But they don't include that when they're doing inflation numbers. So is it really 2.9%? Hell no. It's 105% is what the real deal is. So certain things cost double and more. So when you start adding things together, 4% ain't going to cut it. 4.1% is not going to cut it. So where are you going to get more than that? Well, maybe go with some traditionals. Hey, Bitcoin goes up on average 25% per year. Why not? ETFs, banks are in on it now. They're trying to make it where you can use that as collateral in the normal mainstream financial systems. I'm like, that's not a bad idea, right? You could easily get a dividend fund that's very simple and stable. Like I love JP Morgan. I always talk about this. JP Morgan is the number one bank. So do you think they're going to let them fail? Hell no. So why would you not have an ETF from JP Morgan that's going to pay you 9% or 11%? That's 5% more, goes a long way if you're going to start doing that, and you have an upside because the stock price is going to increase based on the dollar, right? That's one of the things people keep forgetting. They get to charge more money. It looks like they charge more money, but you've devalued the currency. And that's why the price is higher, but you get the benefit 2 years from now of a higher price. Because at least you can sell it, got appreciation, and you got 2027 money instead of 2025 money. It's very simple. So hopefully that helps you guys out. All right. So there we go. Here we go. Mr. Law of Compensation, gold going up now as we speak. I know it is overnight because the other markets around the world, you got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, there's lots of things going on out here that people do not understand. And I got so much to talk about, but I won't get into it just yet. All right. Oh man, hold on. I did something. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm still on screen because I just disconnected. But I want to again thank everybody for being here. Make sure you smash that like button. And if you like what we're talking about, please subscribe to the channel. Click the all notification bell. Our chat room is open, just so everybody understands that. Chat room is open. And what I wanted to do was here, I'll do it a different way. No, I can't see it. Where's my phone? I can't. I'm not hooked up to the mark. Well, hold on. I am hooked up to the markets. Hold on. Yeah, it was around the 40s. He said gold is, well, I don't think I'm going to get an instant gold number. Right? I don't think I'm going to get an instant gold number. Oh, silver a little up. Yeah, it's up to 38.71 for the gold. Yeah. Yeah, it's not 48 no more. It keeps rising. Copper's, ladies and gentlemen, come on, listen. We talked about this last week, didn't we not? Gold, silver, copper, platinum, palladium. We talked about all these. I had a video about it. Remember? It's looking like green lights to me. And even silver's at $47. Remember, you need a little bit of gold hits record high on rate cut bets. Well, that's not what up. U.S. government shutdown fears. Again, that raises the price on gold. We already know the rate cut bets. I don't know what that means because I don't see how they're going to raise or decrease the federal funds rate anytime soon. That would be even more ridiculous. So we're going to find out. I knew what you meant. Here we go. Eric, I've rented other apartments in Blue Marlin to keep an eye on them. I love that idea, man. Hey, that's what you have to do. That's what you have to do out there and put myself into a guest position. Very smart thinking, EV Place. That's how you have to do it if you're not familiar with what you look at, because then you'll start noticing when you're in other people's units, you'll be like, hey, this is like lacking right here. Why didn't they do this? In fact, I'm trying to put down my laptop right here. They got stuff all over the counter, man. Get this stuff out of here. You're like, what's all these plants doing around up in here? Yeah. I know some people might like it, but I don't like it. So, oh, you get to see how people treat you as well. When you came in, was there anything in the fridge? Was there any nice little soft notes that said, hey, thank you for being here? Here's like a Snicker bar. Was there anything? Just little touches like that. That's what matters. But hey, I haven't found too many touches in the DR like that, quite frankly. But then again, I'm staying in cheap places. 40 bucks a night, 35 a night, stuff like that in Los Corrales, Coral Village. For one, that's basically where I always stay at because the one bedrooms are nice, easy, no biggie. Sometimes they're 40, 45, but generally 50 bucks or less, especially when you start staying 6, 7 nights. Perfect location, nice and quiet. Things can change, but I understand that's what you should be doing. I appreciate it. Brian P. Mr. Dividend is in the house. I'm sure he's doing the salsa dance. I'm sure he's very happy today. And welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he says his tagline this evening: Happy day, Eric. And by the way, Mr. Dividend, I think, needs no introduction. Mr. Dividend means he makes money from dividend investing, ladies and gentlemen. I hope all is well with you. Happy day, SSN family. All is well with me, man. My aunt has been 7 days stable. I'm happy and showing signs of something. I'm happy. Smash that like button. It's no cost whatsoever other than your support. No matter where you're watching from, hit that heart button, hit that like button, hit that Yoel Nolasco. I see you. That's right. Another investor in the DR. TK, her soul is free. I hear you. I see you. Thank you so much for being in the house as well. I greatly appreciate it. That's right. We have people. I decided to be on different platforms tonight, add a few into the mix. So I want to thank everybody for once again being here. We are making money in here. That's right. Doing the salsa dance every Friday and Monday. There's nothing a better feeling. But now opportunity has knocked. Gold prices are rising. Can you believe that, ladies and gentlemen? It's going to continue. Here we go. Look at this right here. This is what we're talking about. Eric, I paid $460 for 10 nights, one bedroom. See, this is what we're talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly. That's $46 per night. That's what I'm talking about. That's how much. Hey, you can get that in Los Corrales, the number one spot to hang out right now. Maybe 3 years or 2.5 years from now, maybe it might change. But I don't see how downtown outdoes Los Corrales. I don't see how a lot of places outdo Los Corrales because the prices are less and you can walk to the beach in less than 5 minutes. In some cases, 2 or 3 minutes. I mean, literally. You have grocery stores, you have restaurants, you have places that are nightclubs, you have casino, you have music at restaurants during the evening times. I mean, come on. This is like heaven. Too bad they didn't build it that way, but it's still like heaven there. The spot. Who can replace that spot? I don't know. But there's a lot of people vying for that opportunity. Vista Cana, Cruise on Land. But again, they don't have the air. They don't have that area. They don't have the beach and the beach clubs that you can just walk to. They don't have it already built in. So again, $460. Thank you for letting everybody know, because that's what I pay too in the 40. Same thing. There's no reason to spend $100 a night and pay like $1,000 for 10 nights. You don't have to. Oh, and by the way, I'm using eBay, which charges a fee, and it still comes out to about that price right there. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Even after, well, they don't charge a fee. That's right, they don't. So that's why probably if they charged a fee, that $460, if it's on Airbnb, would probably be an additional 100. It'd probably be like probably be $600, 580 or something like that. But that's great. But the place is fresh on the market. See, I know. See, this is what I tried to tell you guys when it comes to real estate. The the real estate matters where you put purchase. That's number one, location, 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 right? That's always number one. Number two, or vice versa, one and two can interchange, amenities, amenities, amenities. If you don't have those two things as one, two, or one A and one B, then you're going to find yourself with choices that people are going to make. And if you are not in the hottest area for where tourists come, because it does matter, the tourist numbers, and if the tourist numbers stay the same from the previous year and they've added new apartments, like in this case here, you're going to have the people who don't have amenities, 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 and location, they're going to have cheap rent to get rentals. That's why it's fresh on the market. And I told you guys be very worried. Two fronts. If you are buying real estate on the island in Dominican Republic, you should be happy. A blessing has come upon you if you were supposed to have delivery like now and you did not get it. And if they take an extra 2 or 3 years, you should be like doing the salsa dance. And I'm going to tell you why, because I think there's going to be a slowdown on tourist numbers. It's obvious. I mean, America's number one, Canada's number two for the amount of tourists that go to the island. They're also the number one and number two investors. If they take off 20%, that, and we have the same tourist numbers year over year over year, 2 years in a row, because we're going to have the same one this year. If they can't breach 10 million or 10.5 million by the end of 2026, and they've built all these units, you can just keep putting fresh stuff on the market. It's not going to help because you're going to have way too many units on the market and you're going to have the same amount of tourists. That's going to be a problem. So, after whatever happens over the next 2 to 3 years, when that shakes out and there's stability and people are able to travel again and everything's going to be lovely, then of course, sky's the limit. Real estate, right? Or bonds, ladies and gentlemen. So this is going to be very, very interesting. All right. Brian P., great. There we go. Exactly. EV Place, I've got my new Uphold Visa card and I can spend my crypto. Yes, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's always a good thing. Now, I have to get to something else because I forgot about the debt resolution. Remember, we got to do debt. You have to do debt resolution, maybe. If your credit is out of hand and you need some help, then there's help. You can act like the rich guys if you know where to go. In this case, you go email tracy.sharpe, T-R-A-C-Y, T as in Tom, R-A-C as in Charles, Y, dot, sharp with an E at the end, S as in Sam, H-A-R-P as in Paul, E at moneyladder.com. All right? It's that simple. Now, I have a problem because every time I do this, I can never pull this up. I can never pull this up. It just doesn't work. I know I've put her name down in the chat room several times, but for whatever reason, we always have a problem. So I'm going to do it again because I have to post this up. I have to put it in the chat rooms so everybody has it. All right. Smooth flow. I see you. It will keep rising. No slowdown on tourist numbers. Smooth flow is smooth flow. You know, we have to be investors, man. We can't think that we're going to be like, we have to be serious here. Here's the thing. You can go pull up, you can just go pull up the numbers. In fact, you know how we do it here, Smooth Flow. Tourist numbers are slowing down. The reason why you may be fooled is because between 2020 and 2024, they added an additional 3 cruise ports. So they have more cruise passengers coming in. And as an investor that owns a business, unless I'm around that cruise terminal area, I don't really care about cruise passengers who are only going to be on the island anywhere from 2 hours to 6 hours. Because they get back on the boat and they take their money and their cash and they're out. I only care about, from an investor, if I have a business on the island, the location, and I need to worry about how many tourists are coming that stay there for the average of 8 days, because that's what it is. That's where the money is. That number is the one I'm referring to. We are only 1%, maybe 2% over last year's numbers. Just to give you some perspective, 8.5 million was last year, plus, let's call it 8.57 million. Okay. We are at 160,000 more. So we're at 8.7, 8.8 million. That's not going to cut it. The reason why that's not going to cut it is when you add 10,000 hotel rooms this year, when you add another 5 to 8,000 Airbnbs, 160,000 divided by 12, I'm sorry, that's not very good. That's only 14,000 per month, roughly. Not very good. Not only that, that's if everybody was by themselves. So we do the number two. So that's actually 7,000 more monthly. And there's 4 weeks in a month. People only stay on average 8 days. So now you divide 7,000 by 4. And are you seriously going to care about 1,500 to 1,800 more people per month? I don't think so. Per week, shall I say. It's per week. We've added another 10,000 units. So we need another 20,000, which is 40,000 people, 40,000 couples, just to break even. So we have demand, so people don't have to charge cheap prices for their business offerings nor their real estate offerings. So you know how we do this. Check your emails. Brian P., he always wants me to check the emails. He knows what time it is. I saw some emails, man, and it was very, very bad. It was very bad. And I saw some of them. I was like, oh my goodness, man, he's making me do all kind of stuff right now. I have videos to make. And since I'm monetized, I guess I should, right? Make some. $46 per night. Where? Is this a 1 bedroom with AC close to the beach and security at that price? I think you 40% occupancy. Post-retirement travel is Los Corrales. This is the spot I keep trying to tell you. This is the spot because they that gets by the way 71% occupancy in Los Corrales. All right, for studio units, 69% or 68 point something for 1 bedroom units in Los Corrales. Los Corrales, that is the spot. El Cordacito is because you literally are 5 minutes. The whole area is 5 minutes. You can walk to the beach. Literally. You can get a tuk-tuk that drives by and pay them a couple bucks and be down there in a minute and a half. So this is why it's the spot to hang out. And you got restaurants. That's where our La Bruja is, right? Our Republic, sports and music, right? On Aruba Street, which is even closer to the beach. It's all easily there. So yeah, that's why they have a higher occupancy rate in that area. And that's because of these type of prices. But here's what happens. If we don't have the demand, and hold on there, Smooth Flow, because I'm about to show you, we're going to pull up tourism analytics. Don't worry. Tourism analytics, I'm pulling it up. That's where the real numbers are, because they get the numbers from the one. The one does the inflation numbers. The one does all those numbers. So we'll get to that in a second. But this is the whole point. And post-retirement travel is on point because of the added units. The occupancy rate goes down because we don't have an additional amount of tourists. So the occupancy was 71% last year for studio units in this area. It was 69%, but in that meantime, between last year, just the last 6, 7 months, they've opened up a condo hotel that's near the jellyfish. When you come out, I can't remember the name of the all inclusive that's right there. They put a condo hotel there, La Reserva Real, I think it's called. That is crazy. See how much they charge after people paid 200 and some odd $1,000. And you guys know it's 1.1% of your purchase price means I got to rent this for $200 a night. You can go look on Airbnb because they have it promoted there. You will see 80 some dollars per night. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. 90 some dollars per night for units that people paid 200 G's for. That's not good. Not good at all. And this is why we have to always talk about this. All right. This is Real Estate Investments 101. PRT, Blue Marlin, same place I'm supposed to get 2 penthouse deliveries soon, but still don't like Rise because stairs has to be moved inside. I know you shut off what? They probably cut off like 6 feet, 6 square feet or something, 7 square feet. I know you told me before, but yeah, when you have to change the stairs, that's a footprint. And it wasn't designed that way. So that means they got to cut cement, the roof, which again, now what about stability? Because you're going to have a hole where there wasn't supposed to be a hole. And now where are they going to, and the thing is, you can't put it at the edge because that's going to be used as some sort of beams. So it has to be in an area that's at least a foot or two over from an edge. So that means you're going to be in the middle. You're taking up space that kind of changes things. It's very bad. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about this. I still can't believe somebody didn't just go, "Hey, what are you doing up there?" When they saw the first black one going up, that should have been like somebody should have been like, "Hey, you can't do that. That's a high risk. Somebody's gonna fall. Are you serious right now?" That was just crazy. But good for you, EV Place, because the price you paid means it's going to allow you to do some serious damage if it costs you 55 or 60K and you have penthouse 1 bedroom units. I mean, you're not going to get any better than that. Timing was everything. Okay, but still don't like Rise because the stairs has to be moved inside, and price. I know you're still negotiating. They don't negotiate over there, man. I mean, there's a good investor like post-retirement travel. He's lucky that the builder, well, they're upscale too. I mean, a $200,000 condo is 400 grand, so or more. So they're a little more lenient, right? But on the low ends, the economy versions, those builders are like, nah, my margins are so small that I can't give you any special deals, really. That's their point of view. And unfortunately, that screws a lot of people. Okay, money ladder, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we're going to get to it. Don't worry about it. I put Tracy.sharpe at Money Ladder also on other platforms, so you guys should be able to see it. Now we're about to go see tourism analytics for the Dominican Republic. Where is it? No, okay. Let me just go to I thought I would be able to pull it up on Google. Not good. Leading tourism in 2024. Yeah, I know. This ain't 2024 though. Not anymore. That was pretty good for 2024, but unfortunately, where's my? Come on, guys. Where's my? What are they doing out here? Oh, there we go. All right, let's get to it. Why don't we find out what the numbers were? What is this? September. Okay, we're gonna have August numbers. I don't think we're not gonna have September numbers. Let's see what August numbers look like. Here we go. Just so everybody knows. First of all, we have stopover visitors by air, 2.1% more. And this is January through August 30th. Okay. 2.1. That's it. So we got 6 million so far. Non-resident stopovers by month, And again, we're at 2.1%. That's it. So here's what I'm talking about. This is the difference right here. 5,961,480. 5,961,480. Some people would go, oh, great, maybe 6.5, maybe 7. No, wrong. It's 6,084,801. Again, 5,961,000 in 2024. And all it did was go up 123,000 people over these 8 months. 15,000 people per month. That's it. 6,084,000. That's it. Now, we're going to extrapolate this out to the end of the year. We only have September, October, November, December, 4 months left. This number is going to be, again, according to these, if this holds true, 2.1% is only going to be 160,000 more than last year. That's not going to be good, ladies and gentlemen. All right. And by the way, I messed up. I messed up big time. You know why I messed up? Because I don't want people to take my word for it. I want to show it on screen. Come on now. Let's get real. Guys, see Tracy and Sharpe at Money Ladder. Go hit her up. You don't have to file bankruptcy. You don't have to get debt collectors. Just have her modify how much you owe and keep paying a little the same or a little bit less. But when you pay it off in a year and a half, a year to 2 years, your account will be in good standing, reported to the credit bureaus. You won't have debt collections, which will hurt you. You won't have anything derogatory. So that's how you can handle it. Act like the big boys. Act like the Millionaire Billionaire Boys Club. That's what we want for you guys right now. By the way, for Brian P., trust. We're talking trust. I cannot believe what I found out. Chat GPT. Unbelievable. Because you can put in, I live in this state, put the rules in for creating this trust. You can just put it in and it does it. And then it puts in the laws and the rules. Also, if you want, it can be included. It can create a PDF for you. It can create the whole thing. And yes, studying some other people. Actually, I want to have somebody on that does that. In fact, another person who actually has deeper, is in a deeper situation with it because they do different trust. Because remember, one trust could be for one thing. Another trust can be like a family trust. Another trust could be a business trust. You can just, and it's anonymous, right? Well, pseudo anonymous, because it depends. Are you going to be the trustee? But again, the main name is anonymous. All right, here we go. Look at this EV place. He's over here getting excited. I can't help you. Getting $5 free electricity on the house. Okay. Well, if you're in a 1-bedroom and you don't stay in the unit and the weather's not that bad, again, we spent $5 to $6 a day whenever I stay in a 1-bedroom, only because during May, June, or April, May, even at night, if you have just a fan on, it gets heated. So if you go like now where it's cooler and it starts cooling off and the humidity starts dissipating a little bit, and it may be raining, so it's cooler, then your electric bill is only going to be $5 a day. And I like it actually because you get to put in your own, you have the meter and yeah, I knew what you meant. I knew you meant $5 per day. That's good because like I said, if you're out and about, you barely even hardly use $5 because you come back late and then you just leave the AC on like 22 Celsius or 23 Celsius. Depends on the AC unit. The older ones, you have to pop it up to 23, 24, somewhere in there. The newer ones, you can just have it at, the other way. The older units, you have to drop it to 22, 21 even. But the newer units, you can be at 22, 23, and it shuts off at night. And when it stays that temperature, because nighttime it cools down and it stays that temperature a little bit, that's a lot better. So that's what's cool about it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we stick with the facts of the matter. So I'm going to show you. on the screen so you guys can see it. Here we go. This is where the numbers come from. Total visitor arrivals. We care about air. The reason why there's a record is because look at this, 1.89 more cruise numbers. So if you have 2.1% and then you add the 5.2% for the cruise, then it makes it look like there's a lot more. We would all be happy if this was 7.9 million by air. That would be significant. That'd be 2 million more. Now, if you're talking that is what we were supposed to have, quite frankly. We were supposed to have not 2.2 million more, but we're supposed to have 9.5 to 10 mil, which would have been another million more to keep us on track with having high demand for our short-term rentals or long-term rentals, depending on if somebody's traveling. But since we don't, and we're mirroring last year's, you could lose 2% just in 1 month if this is a hurricane month. So this is so close that it's going to end up being close. It's not going to be 9 million. Let's just put it that way. All right, here's the numbers. You can see them right here. You guys can see the numbers plain as day. Look at these down. February, 2% down. March, 2% down. May, 0.6% down. The highest month was July. I don't know why, at 6.5%. And August was 4.7% before school. But that just gets us to 2.1, an additional, 120,000, 23,000 people. That's it. I mean, sorry. Yeah, 123. Or is it? No. Yeah, it is. It's 123,000 roughly. So that's the kicker right there. But look at this. This is the numbers that you got to worry about. Non-resident arrivals, and you got the share of the airports, and Santo Domingo, negative 8.7, down 8.7. Puerto Plata, down 9.5. La Isla down negative 29.1. Samana, down 10%. Look at this. The only one, La Romana, 50% more. Punta Cana, 7.3% more, ladies and gentlemen. This ain't going to cut it. Look at this. Look at this. Non-residents 2024, 3.5. Non-residents 2025, 3.7. That's it. In Punta Cana, that's an additional 200 and some odd thousand. Is that? Yeah, 200,000 more. 200 and it's significant. 260,000 more. But that's 61.9% of all arrivals at this airport. You see this right here? What we talked about before, right? This is why you needed to potentially have things in this area. Look at everybody else. 20% is Santo Domingo. And after that, it drops to Cibao at 10.9%. And those aren't the hottest spots. And that's where the problem is going to end up happening eventually. So we need an additional, now it's going to be in 2026. We're not going to be at 10.5 to 11. That's the number you need to be at. There is no way they're going to add 2 million passengers by air next year. Not going to happen. Okay. Here's the stopovers by countries. Look at this, right? Pay a close attention to this. Look at the share numbers. USA down 4.5%. Look at this. Canada, the top two countries, down 5%. This is where the problem is right here. 85% of Canadians are living paycheck to paycheck, and 80% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck during the month. Their share together went down 10%. They're the top two countries. That is 3 million. That's like 300,000 people less. Who has to make that up? Argentina. Okay, great. They made it up. Great. But we're still breaking damn near even. That's not helping. I mean, it does help, but it's not helping if you're an investor there. And look what happens if these guys continue to fall. Are you seriously going to tell me Argentina with 45 million people is actually somehow going to have 1 million people show up any month? I mean, I don't see how that's going to jump up. Any of these other countries who are under 100 grand, there's only Chile, UK, Puerto Rico, which I don't understand why that's separate because it's a U.S. territory. That's why. Colombia, Argentina. There's only one, two, three. There's only five countries that have over 100,000, and that's not going to cut it. Mexico up 33%. Okay, fine. But France, where the money, you look, -5. All these negatives from Spain, the EU, Germany, negative, Portugal, all Switzerland. These are money countries. You can't miss out on all these. Okay, so anyhow, just want to show you guys from an investor standpoint and look at the cruise. Obviously, the cruise is going to increase. Hotel performance, don't be lied to, ladies and gentlemen, where the realtors or business, commercial realtors, they go, oh, hotel occupancy is like 93%. You can see it's a clear lie. And look what's happening. Each month, it's almost dropping each month. Look at this, 86% in February, 83% in January, 81% in March, 76% in April, 72% in May, 74% in June, 78% pop back up in July, August, under 70 at 69.5. They are negative 1.5%, like I said. This is because 8 days, the numbers are the same, and they've added more hotel rooms. They've added roughly 8 to 10,000 hotel rooms this year. This is what I'm talking about. This trend is going to keep going because they're going to add, this is 90,000 hotel rooms. You guys see this? You guys see that, right? That's 90,000 hotel. They're going to have 100,000 by next year. You understand that, right? So once you understand that, now you understand what's going to happen. All right. Hopefully you got it, Smooth Flow. There you go. The numbers don't lie. Don't let anybody lie to you guys out here. You may win if you're in certain hotspot locations. You may say, oh, it's all good because I have 70% or I have 60% occupancy. But as soon as you start getting in the 40s and you didn't buy right, and you bought something that's, like I said, the going rate now about 107, a perfect example. The $460 per night is in Los Corrales, right? Right now, they're selling one bedroom units in Los Corrales in a lot of places for 160, 170 grand. 0.1% of the purchase price means they have to rent at 170. Do you not understand $170,000 and you can only rent for 50 or 60 or $70 per night? Even if you were lucky enough to do 60% occupancy, which I'll do some numbers real quick, but these are fake numbers, but let me get my calculator up. I'll give you a perfect example. So there's 365 days a year, right? 365 times, what are we doing? 40%, right? That's 146 nights, and I need $170 per night. Okay? I need to, this is $24,820. Okay? Whenever we do real estate or business, expenses are generally going to be 50%. Just take off 50%. We already know that means the 24,820 goes down to 12,000, 13,000, 14,000. All I know is that's below 10%, ladies and gentlemen. We need 17,000 just to break even at 10%. And your risk is if there's hurricanes, if there's problems, if the travel doesn't come, you are at high risk not to make even 10% back on your money at 40%. All right? That's what we're talking about here. Now, if a person bought something at half that price, people that live at Coral Village bought their one bedrooms at 99 grand. Well, if he were able to charge 170, he'd be making out like a bandit, but he can't. So I'll go around to a different number, 146. They charge on average, let's just $50 per night. Now they're still going to be in the same bucket because it's $7,300 is our gross. We bought it for 99 grand, 89 grand, 79 grand. We have a problem, Houston. That's 40%. You seriously going to make, I mean, and we're only going to make 35, 4 grand a year. That's where the problem comes in. Why not save your money? And that's what ultimately is going to happen. All right. So that's why it matters where you guys go. All right. There we go. Let me get myself back on the screen. We just went over that. You guys know this is what we talk about here. This is what we do. All right. This is what we do. We try to help you with information so you understand how to decipher the information. Here we go. I'm on the same page. I've noticed also some Airbnb hosts are still charging extra cleaning fees. Yeah, that's why you don't rent from them. That's exactly right. We don't want to mess with them. We don't want to play with them. Right? We don't want to play with them. So that's how it goes. All right. Hold on. Let's go here. 3 buildings has those stairs before my building was completed. I'm just asking to be treated same way. This time I will negotiate face to face. 3 buildings have those stairs before. I'm just at yeah. The problem is it was so cheap that they have to charge because they have to do everybody's. I understand their conundrum. The problem is they should eat it. I'm sorry. They have other projects. They're just gonna have to charge more on the other one. They shouldn't be charging their customers for their F up. The accident nightclub was the reason my stairs wasn't accepted. They should have never been accepted. There is nobody that would approve that. Nobody's going to approve stairs out on a balcony that swings out close to over the edge with no safety net. I mean, that is insanity. I mean, seriously. They might have it wasn't accepted, man. They lied to you. There's nobody's going to approve that setup on a balcony with no safety nets, no nothing to boot. Second off, it's clearly somebody could fall over the edge if they just slipped. And you're going to be in a wet, humid environment. That's insane. That should have never been allowed in the first. I'd be shocked if that's really shocking that they would use that as an excuse. That was just not approved at all. Not approved. Agree with that low price, you'll have higher occupancy. I've been to Los Corrales. There are some strange corners there, mainly at night. There is a gated community there. Can't recall the name. Yeah, there's Tequeso. There's a bunch. Tequeso, Coral Village is gated. They just don't close the gates. Tequeso, which is up the streets, gated. They have a ton. You go down one street that's, I wish I knew the name of the Garden Moon Gardens or Garden Moons along that street that goes out to Zabella Beach, not Zabella, the beach club at the end. I can't remember the name of it. All that's gated, but not like you and I understand gated, where you drive in and you get to cruise around a little. No, not that. You just open up the gate and close the gates, kind of. They have security there, and you walk in like less than 50 yards and you're into units, you know. But yeah, they got a ton of gated projects over there. Namaste Beach is gated. But again, it's a gate out front, and they have a little pool area, and then your unit is there, right? Up, they got 3 levels, and that's cheap because they make you pay for electricity, and then they charge you some stupid rate, $16 a day or something crazy like that, $10 a day when there's no way 2 people can even spend $10 a day unless you just leave stuff on while you're gone. Yeah, there's a ton of places over there. Ton. The new stuff though, Oceana, gated. There's a place called it's a oh man, it's by Jess Brown. I can't remember the name of it. Okay, I don't know how they will charge me with extra usage, but I'm guessing credit card deposit. No, no. What they're gonna do is they're probably gonna add at late night. They what they're gonna do is they're probably just gonna go, okay, you're staying there, let's say 10 days. They're gonna add $50 on the meter. Once you run out of the $50 in the room, there's going to be the meter number, and you can go to sepin.com or .do, whatever. And as long as you have the number, the electrical account number, which they will post, then you can actually find out where you sit every day. So you can just go look it up and find out if you got to go down and add money to it. I'm pretty sure that's what they're going to do. If I'm doing it. That's how I do it. I just go, okay, you're staying 10 days. There's $50 added on the meter because I don't want to be responsible for you calling me up adding money. I need to where you can go and pay for it. You can see what it is. That's how they do it at Coral Village. Most of the people down there and around there, except for Namaste, doesn't. They just go, oh yeah, you're staying here for whatever. It's $12 a day, and I'm like, what? What are you talking about right now? I don't stay in my unit all day, and even then, $12 is I don't know how you get there, but you have to leave it on all day, all night. Yes, Blue Marlin is fully gated with guard, and I think wall around. Yeah, Blue Marlin, where you're at, is gated. They already started that way back. But yeah, they have guards. They got security. Yeah, and it was so cheap, man. I can't even believe it. The units were so cheap. It's unreal. But that's probably what they're going to do. That's probably what they're going to do. All right. Now, I had a few people doing the bot. You registered, you signed up with goldrushregister.info, and then they were trying to reach out to you. So if you want to get one of these bots, then you should get those. Now, again, I took another L on my bots, but now I understand what I'm going to be doing a little bit better because I've been studying, as MDA 214 said, and post-retirement travel and everybody else recommend I go study. I studied up a little more. Every day I'm learning more and more knowledge. I'm like, oh my God, I just saw that last week. The charts, I was reading indicators, and I was like, I noticed it happens all the time, but I didn't realize that was a thing that happens a lot often where you could know based on the indicators. And I'm like, I saw that. I was just naturally looking at it going, okay, it's always gone down just from the days that I've been watching. Now I find out there's indicators to make my life easier. I also find out about an RSI indicator, which now tells me anything near 70 means it's being overbought. I'm like, naturally, when it was popping up like that, people were buying, but then the bulls run out, and all of a sudden, the bears start selling and it starts coming back down. And you can see where it goes from overbought to less than overbought. I was like, I should have had that indicator straight up. The guys that I got the bot from should have put that on the screen. But then again, the bot runs automatic. But as an individual trader, I'm sitting there like, oh my God, this is making this even easier to figure out what's going on. You don't even have to keep it all up here in your head, which is what I was doing. I was just keeping stuff by basics in my head, just off of looking, and knowing what I see. Recommend sending a message to the owner to clarify everything. Have it in writing. Are there reviews? Prices that low get me nervous. Hope everything goes well. No, it's just a simple unit. I mean, that's all it is. It's nothing, they have a pool, a park. The first place that we went to was the party like 2.5 years ago when the opening came for the first, I guess, section of it. And you could park downstairs is what they had at the time. So they had the first level, you park downstairs. Second level starts the first build up. The units were just nice and simple. Well, I didn't know how much they were at the time, though. I would have never guessed 50 grand or something. I would have never thought that. So they looked pretty great for 50 grand. His one bedrooms apparently cost 53, 54 grand. So I don't know how much the one bedrooms actually cost that weren't the penthouse units. So I guess 47 or something. That's pretty damn cheap. That was worth a risk at 47 grand or 50 grand. That's a risk for a one bedroom. Low risk. You can get $50 a night. Let's get real. In Los Corrales. All right. So that's it. But again, it's high risk because of the distance. It's not that close. I mean, it's still walking. You can walk to the beach from that location probably 7 minutes. Okay. PRT. I bought those 2 penthouses there, same project, different building, but because they want more money for me for moving stairs, I need to see progress and finish negotiation in person. Yeah, this is one of those things, man. This is why I have a different point of view about DR because they do this BS and then they don't negotiate in reality. Good faith. They're sitting there like, yeah, just give us more money. We don't have to perform. I think $75 per night as a start will be okay. At 50% occupancy, you can make $400 to $500 per month. Then you adjust with dynamic pricing. Yeah, yeah, but again, Yeah, for him, he bought it 50, 60 grand. Yeah, 50% will get you there if he can get that. But the question is, can he get that if they're stagnant? Because they're adding more units as we speak. There's going to be more units in that project coming online. But are we going to get more tourists? And if the tourist numbers are almost the same next year, oh, that'd be catastrophic. If they stay around 8.7, 8.8 mil, ooh, when we're supposed to be at 10.5 to 11 mil, oof, we have to have a surge. But I don't know where the surge is coming from, because unless they're going to be Americans or Canadians, you're not going to be able to add another million people from the rest of the world. It's not going to happen. The rest of the world's in turmoil. We got flotillas going over to Gaza right now with Spain, Italy, Switzerland. I mean, can you imagine if something pops off over there? You have instant conflict from about 5 NATO countries against NATO country. This could be catastrophic. And you could forget Spain and all these, Germany and Switzerland and all those guys coming. You could just wipe off a million people, definitely not coming when you add all those countries together, because they're like 80,000 here, 100,000 there, 120,000 there. You start doing that, now where are you going to get those million people from? So again, we're that's why I told you guys, if you don't get delivery until 2028, you should be happy. You should be very, very happy. In my opinion, we'll see how it all plays out. EV plays great. You asked them to be moved, or are they moving you upstairs? Galaxy didn't ask me for money to move us in above floor. Yeah, unfortunately, he has a penthouse unit post retirement travel. So he's at the top. There's nothing they can offer him. So they're trying to charge him money when in fact they should have just said we'll eat it and gone about the business. You know, uh, they're the ones that was easily you need approval. In fact, it was easy. You should have never built it. That's the whole point. That should have never been built. They know that was not right. Nobody's going to approve that. That just goes to show you how much do they really approve things. It's crazy. Yes, I should be in 70K with tax and furniture. So 0.1% rule is saying 70 per night. I know. Yep. It's going to be rough, man. The only reason I'm saying that is because there's an over amount of inventory. So that's where we have a problem. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, Carlton Tafari, I see you. And again, I got off topic because we're talking about real estate. But again, tonight, Forex versus stocks. Hey, be in both. I mean, there's opportunity that's happening as we speak. Commodities are popping up. You can make advances if you are in the Forex trading market, if you are into these commodity trades. Very, very well. Popping up, you can win by just a buy. Very, very nice. In time, it seems to be working so far. So we'll see how this all goes. So as long as there's turmoil, people buy commodities: gold, silver, platinum, palladium, soybeans, copper. I mean, well, not so much soybeans. Forget the soybeans part. But all I'm trying to say is the precious metals. All right, they're going to keep buying. Okay. They sent me just an email with changes, but any change need both sides signature. There you go. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In the DR, the way they operate, they're just going to tell you, hey, it's another 6 grand or whatever. Then they're going to tell you, oh, you didn't pay us, so then they're going to do repercussions against you. That's the MO. Even though the builder of Blue Marlin seemed like it was pretty cool, but we know in DR, a lot of people seem like they're cool until this type of situation happens. EV Place, you have the advantage of buying early. That gives you flexibility on the night rate. Everything that close to restaurants and the beach, an average investor can't afford it now. Yep, 170 for a 1 bedroom now. And they can't get 170 per night or 150 per night unless they're on the beach. And that's even rare. You're not going to have too many on the beach. So that's why it's high risk. Everybody's 1 bedrooms are 170 and they're thinking sky's the limit forever. No, it's never sky's the limit forever, because again, you hit a plateau no matter where the tourist locations are, right? If you were early in Los Cabos, well, you couldn't own the land near the beach, but you still can. So it doesn't really matter. But if you were early in Belize, Costa Rica, yeah, your property value has increased greatly. But for anybody new that goes down there and wants to spend $50,000 to buy into the same thing other people paid 100 and some thousand, now you're going to have a problem if tourist numbers don't expand and demand doesn't increase. You have a problem. Remember, with capitalism, it's always based on demand. All right, that's how it goes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So tonight, what are you guys going to do? And those of you who did the Gold Rush Autobot, if you guys want to do that, make sure they're trying to reach out to you to see what you want to do so you can go do it. All right. By the way, I should point something out. If somebody's looking for a computer, hold on a second. Let me go look at something. Somebody sent me something saying, hey, I want to do something with the computer. Gold plus 17. Okay, we like that. Let's go see what XAU USD is doing. Plus 10. Okay, that's nothing. Coppers. Okay, everything's staying clear, but it's overnight, so we'll see what happens. Maybe something happens. Now, remember with the shutdown, if there's an agreement, that's also good for the market. There's no shutdown. That's good for the market. That's better, actually. All right. And people won't be flocking to the gold, silver, precious metals anymore either, right? They'll be flocking to the stock market. So, once again, uh, play how you want to. Okay. Now, just that quick, I forgot what I was going to go look up. All right. I'll figure it out later. I was going to go, oh, yeah, I was looking up commodities. So we got there. All right. Grant money, right? I got that. We got the money. We got the gold, silver. We got the real estate. We talked a little bit about the bonds. What else do we need here, ladies and gentlemen? We got you the debt resolution, right? With Tracy Sharpe, tracy.sharpe at moneyladder.com. Go hit her up. Let her know SSN Nation sent you. Eric sent you. Rodney Perez, I see you. Thank you so much for being in the Instagram live stream. Greatly appreciated. Go over there, show some love. Now, I feel like I'm forgetting something. Let's Go helps. Yes, if you guys want to find out about more grants, Let's Go. Matthew Let's Go, late night infomercial guy that stood in front of Capitol buildings and started talking about grants. He has his own group, thousands of people. And those thousands of people, they look for grants and they help people out. So where is I'm gonna give you guys where you can go check it out. Now, I recommend if you sign up, do not sign up for the monthly because that's almost $20 a month when for a year it's $60 or something, right? And it's worth it because people help you find other grants that are not at findhelp.org, which at findhelp.org is not really grants, but unless, I guess you can call it grants if people pay your bills. That's a grant. So we'll see. We will see. Okay. Let's see. We got talk. Okay. Yes. 70K should be, yeah, it's going to be close. Changes. Okay. Early that gives you flexibility. This is true. I see I got some additional, but Let's Go help. Here it is. I put it in the chat room. So don't say you can't get the help. Here you go. Go over there. They have live streams. They help you with grants themselves. So that's the location. Go check it out. You can see it right there. There's no, you can put in SSN Nation if there's who told you so, but again, this is all no additional cost. Let's Go. EV Place says yes, but I can also put them on the market for 140K brand new. That is true. Collect 100% profit and forget. I don't know yet. You can put those at 170. That's the going rate in Los Corrales. In fact, the rate may even be higher because 170 was last year's prices. I haven't even checked this year at all because I'm on groups. I get sent where people are just selling their units outright. You can get a villa now for 230 grand. that's a 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath, and it's about 1,400, 1,500 square feet that are built that people are trying to get rid of. Of course they are, because they would have to charge $230 some a night and have occupancy of around 50% to be good. And now that they have it, they realize, oh, damn, I can only charge like X amount and my occupancy rate's like 30%. That's a problem. So that's why people are offering their units, condos, villas, townhouses. People are selling. It's ridiculous. I mean, but you have to know about it. You're not going to find it because it only goes through realtors, and realtors don't. Where do they post up in DR to be able to for you to find out? That's the problem. All right, that's where you get your some free help, free money on that, ladies and gentlemen, right there. Okay. All right. I'm not going to be on here too much longer. If you have anything else that you want to discuss, let me know. Because once again, I will say, if you want to get that Autobot from Gold Rush, Autobot, Gold Rush Register.info. My name's Eric, last name Bird, BYRD. If you want to register, they will hit you up. A lot of you have registered, and they said they've been trying to hit up some people. So if that's you, go see what they want. Say yes or no. Go see what Kenny J has to say, because he's probably the one that's going to email you. All right. We're going to talk about trust. Again, I'm actually going to, well, I'm not going to show much, but you can go to ChatGPT and put in what you want for a trust and what state you want it in. It starts forming because they can gather the laws. They tell you the grantor in most cases is the individual. You cannot be grantor and be trustee. Trustee controls what is said in the trust. The trust dictates what you can do. All right. The grantor is the person, it could be anybody. All right. Does not really matter. You can just pick any random person to be grantor because they don't control anything. The assets that are going in there may be from the grantor, maybe not. But I'm putting mine together. I'm going to have stipulations where the trustee can add assets to the trust. Then you have to put successor, who you're in case something happens where I die or we die. Then you have to put in who the successor is going to be. But the rules are already in place. What a trustee can and can't do. Is it irrevocable, which I highly suggest? Some people would say don't do irrevocable, but I say you can put, well, not me, but in certain states, not every state, you're allowed to add provisions that the trustee can do certain things. So in my trust, I'm putting it down where I have a provision because in the state that it's going to be in, it allows it. It says you can have a trustee can actually add assets to the trust to keep it going, right? Because the fiduciary duty of the trust is to make sure it can stay funded indefinitely, like the Rockefellers, right? So therefore, I want to be able to allow them to add, but they cannot take out once it's in there. It's in there, not remove. At least I don't have that clause in there, and I'm probably not going to add it. But we'll talk about that with the lawyer. But the point is, there's certain, you can make everything you want. You can put provisions in. So irrevocable does not really mean in this particular state irrevocable. So just, it is, so as long as you can put provisions in that the trustee can do something, beneficiaries, they can't do anything. They're just beneficiaries. You can be trustee and beneficiary in some states, but again, grantor cannot be anything. He can't be trustee, can't be beneficiary, because being a grantor, if you start being trustee, that's basically just like your own thing. You're not independent. So therefore, if you ever got sued, then they're going to pierce that trust because they're going to say, well, wait a minute, he's using it just like it's his own thing because he's trustee and the grantor. Grantor is putting the assets in. So therefore, you're out of it. So if anybody sues you, that's why a trust is asset protection, because you're like, I don't own anything. It's in a trust, and the trust is under a different name. and I don't control it. I don't own it because I gave it to the trust. The trust owns it. And then they try to argue in court saying, well, wait a minute, it's your trust. And then it's like, well, yeah, okay, great. But trustee deals with that. I don't have any voting. Well, you don't vote, but I don't have any rights to anything in there. It's not even in my name anymore. Case closed. I have no assets, right? That's what the asset protection portion of. Now, the other thing, um, there's several, like I said, there's provisions you can put in depending on your state that allows the trustee to do certain things. So that's Chat GPT brings it up. Hey, what can I do this? And it says no. I just like, holy smokes, this is unbelievable. So now I'm going to put everything together. Then I'm going to have an attorney look it over instead of paying the 5 to 10 grand that they're trying to charge people in the state I'm talking about. And I'm going to stay anonymous, by the way. All right. There's a reason I'm always going to stay anonymous from now on. And by the way, the IRS is going to be looking for you guys. Just be careful out here. You know, Uncle Sam will collect a bunch on capital gains. That's a good problem to have. Yes, it is. That's very good to have. Yes, I'm keeping that in mind. Exactly. But are they really? I'm still researching properly tokenization and trust. Hey man, I'm going to tell you right now, you better be very careful because when you start doing this tokenization and business kind of things, trust and all that, just remember there's if you're a US citizen, there's laws, which puts it at a in some countries you could just go, okay, I'm doing tokenization, no big deal. In America, they're going to call that SECs, you're selling shares or something like that. So you have to be very, very careful how you're going to do this. Now, I will suggest you look into if you have a club, people pay membership, and then you do something, maybe you can skirt it, but I would not take a chance. The United States loves this. Oh, is that a security thing? Again, you guys don't understand where you live. A friend of mine, I had seminars. I would tell people for no cost, just show up, right? I'm not charging, just show up. I'm going to show you how to, do FHA loans and things like this, right? Okay, no problem. My friend, because he sees that I did these seminar type things, my friend sets up, oh, I'll do something in the Bay Area that I can find investors for commercial real estate properties. That's what I'm going to do. The SEC showed up. Yeah. Federal government showed up in Oakland and said, oh, no, sir, you can't do this. This violates the SEC rules. I'm sitting there like, are you? I wasn't there, but he told me about it in shock. He goes, have you ever heard of this? I said, what were you doing? And that's when he told me what he was doing. He says, oh, I was looking for investors. And I said, hold up. You can't do that. You got to have accredited investors. And he's like, what? I said, yeah, man, you can't just do this to ordinary citizens. So whoever tried to block you or whatever they're doing, they called the SEC, the feds, DOJ, and they told them to come down. And if you started talking about, hey, investors, I want you to do that, and you don't have no paperwork talking about you must be an accredited investor to sign in here, you don't have none of that, then you're going to have problems. He goes, yeah, they shut it down. They didn't, there was no arrest or anything. They just came in, FBI or whatever, SEC. He can't do this. This is from what I understand. Everybody starts getting up leaving. Of course, that's going to dull the situation. Definitely not in the USA. Yeah, you can't do it. And outside of the United States, you have to be very careful, even though under Trump it's lenient. But I would still be very careful because soon as you're United States citizens, no matter where you are. So anytime you start messing around with these securities, it does not matter if you have United States citizens giving you money, you fall under United States jurisdiction, even if you're in another country. Okay, you can be like Micah and be over there in the island of Cyprus, and you can never come back to the USA unless you're going to be looking over your shoulder and hope it doesn't trigger something when they do your passport, whatever city you land in. You can keep taking risk and not be able to travel. That's on you. But I would not recommend that unless you By the way, I checked with a few attorneys in the DR because remember, I have an SRL, and the attorneys are like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Are you serious right now?" I couldn't believe it. I talked to 5, 6 attorneys. They're all like, "Sure, you can do it because there's nothing happening here." I said, "No, I'm a U.S. citizen." What do you mean? I can't just do it because I'm going to have U.S. citizens giving me money, and it's going to be wires. We got problems, right? All they have to do is wire fraud. Oh yeah, here you go, 3, 5 years. I mean, come on, potentially. And I'm a black guy, so I know I'm going to jail, right? Come on. So just think about it very carefully, and you better get some serious backup if you're going to do it, and make sure you're legal on the USA side, not the government that you're going to be in. Because DR, let's talk DR. DR has no rules because they don't have any laws for crypto. So yeah, you can do tokenization in DR, but soon as you get money from a United States citizen, you're under USA rules because a US citizen wired you money or however they paid you. It does not matter. A USA citizen. So you're at jeopardy of United States rules because you're not registered in the United States to take money from a USA citizen. So just be very, very careful when you do that. And, you know, I mean, I know people do it. Like I said, Miracle did it. Micah may not be able to come back to the United States, but, it is what it is. The Andersons, debt deeds, they did it. They're over in Europe right now, or Africa, or wherever. Yeah, they're sketchy about when they come back, and their accounts were frozen and everything. They got it removed because they actually legitimately had businesses and they paid for it. But again, they had tokenization. They had problems with the SEC. That was before. I don't know about the Trump regime because they actually have meme coins as a government official, which is crazy. But again, if you're dealing with property management in DR, I think they are now going by the book. A good company won't do anything illegal, especially with U.S. government. DR banks report that income. Yeah. Yeah, we're talking about tokenization though. He wants to do like a crypto, and so he's going to tokenize the property in DR. And again, if you mess around and get money from USA citizens, then that means you may not be able to come back because they may be looking for you when you go land. That's the only problem because that's called a security. Under everybody and under Trump, I don't know what it's called. It may not be a security, but the next president, and who knows what's going to happen. That's going to be high risk, very high risk. It's too high of a risk to pay. You better know. You better be licensed. It better be approved. You better have paperwork, and that's going to take sums of money, and it ain't going to be 5Gs or 10Gs either. Just so you guys understand, all right? Don't mess around with that type of scenarios, all right? You can do certain things, but as soon as you start going international and start getting wires across, you can be in the United States and you could have accredited investors for the crypto tokenization, but you're still going to have to file paperwork, still going to have lawyers. I wouldn't just do it willy-nilly because sooner or later the government comes after you. It could be 5 years later. They have statutes of limitations, 5 to 10 years. It just depends, but it could be 4 years later, 5 years later, and say, hey, this is what you did right here. And you're thinking it's all good. You have papers, just like the guy at Celsius. Legal until it wasn't. Dude's going to jail. The owner of Celsius, a rich dude, unbelievable. He had licenses and everything, but still going to jail. So you better be very careful. Take it from me, very careful. Maybe investors from Europe. I've seen few business models like that still on the market. Again, they have crypto laws in Europe too. You have to get a license, which again, it does not matter. If you get money from United States citizens, you're screwed. You're locked. Like I said, this is why Micah This is why the Andersons, all these guys, they moved to Dubai because they got monies from USA citizens and they're not going to be arrested in Cyprus or Dubai. So they don't know if they'll be arrested. They're just being careful because they know if they come back, depending on who's running and they want to arrest people, they could. Again, remember, it's not the other way around. People go, oh, you're innocent until proven guilty. That's not how this works in America. That's all a fallacy. Well, how it works is almost everything you do is illegal in America. The only time they implement it is when they go through the books and they go, hey, we can get this on them because here it is. That's what they do. You know right now how we have a government that goes, oh, yeah, man, we can't do nothing about this 1960 laws and all that. We're going back to 1898. Checking out that alien act or what. What do you mean 1898? That has nothing to do with right now. All the laws were updated, changed. Oh, no, we found out we can do this right now to apply now. That's exactly what they do in a DOJ. Okay, don't be fooled out here. You don't live where you think you live. All right? That's not how it works. Because I'm going to tell you guys right now, there is nobody watching this right now that knows what I've told people about this before. You can have property 1, 2, 3, and 4 right now. There are people watching this right now in America that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, doesn't matter how many properties. You have one management company. Your management company collects all the money, then distributes it. There's a DOJ law about commingling money when you have government loans. It's illegal, right? And people do it all the time. But only those people that they want will they actually come arrest. Think about it. All right. I have another citizenship, but thanks for the advices. Okay, I'm just letting you know, man. It has not. Yeah, okay. I'm going to tell you right now. The guy Celsius also is from another country. He set up Celsius with the laws. He's going to jail. Just keep that in mind. About 5 years ago, we got audited by the IRS, and yes, they wanted to see my filings for the previous 5 years. Good thing we use a CPA and had everything squared away. That's correct. That's another thing. That's how they also get you. They'll go to the IRS. You're going to get audited. You're like, you better have, I'm telling you, you don't live where you think you live. When they want to deal with you, they'll let it slide. They'll let it slide for the other 10 million people. But if they want you, they just go, hey, man, this law right here, it's on the books. We're just going to use them. And basically, the reason why the feds get away with their stuff is because, let's get real. You're looking at stuff on the books and it says 15 to 20 years. They come to you and say, all you got to do is plead guilty to this and you get probation or you get 6 months or you get, are you really going to risk 15 to 20 years a year versus 6 months a year? I mean, seriously, that's how they get a lot of people. You're not, you can't be that crazy. Let's go through a trial. Let's spend thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. And if I lose, my reward is 15 to 20 years or 10 to 15. I mean, or I can walk out of here right now and get 6 months probation or ankle bracelets or stay at home. It's not very hard to figure out what choices you're going to make. You're going to be like, oh, hell, that's crazy. I don't think I want to go and take that chance. That's how they have pressure. It's not a fair fight because that's your pressure. Go to court, get whatever jail time, or make a deal and get a lesser lesser penalties. So for them, they win with lesser penalty. Either way, they win, no matter what the penalty is. But do you really want to wish 12 people of your peers are going to come back and say not guilty when people believe everything police say is true? Everything the feds say is true. I don't know if you guys have ever watched hearings or you have known that they lie to government officials, that is actually illegal. You should be arrested for perjury. But how often does anybody get arrested in perjury testifying to Congress? And you know they're sitting there lying. If they don't want you, they don't care if you lie. But the guy that they do want, let's use James Comey, for instance, right now. They say he lied. He has a court case. Whether he lied or not, he still has a court case. He still has to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars for attorneys and fight the U.S. government, one of the most powerful governments in the world. Good luck, ordinary citizen. All right, enough, enough. I better stay off that topic because, again, this will put me back in the hot seat, demonetized. They'll hurt me. You guys know that. All right, let's go. And by the way, the reason why I talk this way is because I have been involved in all these scenarios. All right. Stuff people are sitting there doing like normal, and then the guys come around and like, hey man, that ain't what are you talking about? Everybody does this. Oh yeah, everybody does it, right? Exactly. But we don't care about everybody else. We don't care. We want to talk to you. What do you mean? That's normal stuff I'm doing, just like everybody else. This is not illegal. What are you talking about? Oh no, but we got to talk to you, Mr. Bird. Why? Why? What's the problem? We need to make an example. I'm like, okay, all right, okay, whatever. Vera Copley, I see you. Thank you so much, everybody, for being in the house on the other live streams and every other place. But make sure you guys smash that like button. I'm about to go and leave. We got to run out of here. We got some Forex trading to do, ladies and gentlemen. Right? We're going to go check out a few things, see how much the XAU USD is going to rise. It's now a 10 something at night. And in about an hour, hour and a half, I'm going to be checking out my XAU USD, and we're going to do some trading tonight. All right. We're going to see how this goes. I've learned some new skill sets. I'm going to be looking at I'm going to use some indicators. That's right. The RSI I'm going to use because I didn't realize it. Just looking down, I could easily do something. And now I learned about some other indicators. I was like, hold on a second. This might start to be a little bit easier now that I know what I'm looking at and to expect. Expectations matter. So I just want to say I love you guys very much. I appreciate your support over all these years. All right, Eric, we living in a third world country. Everyone needs a escape button handy. Exactly. We've been talking about this for over 5 years. I've been telling people, just like he said, you better have a bank account outside the U.S. You better have property or a business outside the U.S. So if you decide to hit the eject button, you can go to that place and say, hey, look, I am good for your country. I got business here. I got bank accounts here. I got real estate here. Hey, you can stay. We'll give you get your leniency. We give you a 90 days renewable. We'll give you that 1 year renewable. Cool. That's all I need. As long as I can stay here, we're good. Because I don't want to be in the U.S. right now. Good. Not anything I did bad. I don't want to be here. It's third world country out here. And our government's a rogue nation. I'm just like, hold on, man. And we can do business anywhere. The only difference is if you don't have a bank account in the currency that's there and USA, then that means you have limited where you can get your business from, right? Because I can still do business with the USA citizen if I'm in DR because they can wire me money, USD, or if somebody's there, they give me DOP. Either way, we're good. And in fact, over there, a developing nation has better banking than we do. Can you guys believe we have Zelle here that has to report? Can you imagine? I swear, I want to send you money, and we have the bank in DR right this minute. All I need is your ID and your bank account number, and I instantly transfer you money in DOP or USD in 2 minutes or less. I don't even care if it's 12 midnight. I don't care what time of day it is. They charge me a little tax fee, 20 cents, 30 cents, 5 cents, 10 cents, whatever. And they charge me, but it's there. The person, I hit send, less than a minute, I got it. Just like Cash App, except it's a bank. This I'm just flabbergasted. United States. Oh, you got to sign up for Zelle. You got to make sure you know where this person's email is or their. I'm like, man, what are you guys over here doing? Oh, by the way, they use your passport number or your cedula and your bank account number, or yeah, I think it's bank account number. That's it. I want to send them money. Send. They have it in less than 10 seconds. But in America, I don't know, man. You got to sign them up for your Zelle, or you want Cash App, or Cash App. Oh, hold on, we got to make sure you're approved, and make sure you have all this other stuff approved. Make sure you can do it. I'm just like, this is insane right now. You're not free out here, ladies and gentlemen. It's bad, very. Would you buy land in Tennessee near Gatlinburg? Hell no. I receive land for sale information all the time. We've stayed at Gatlinburg and loved it, especially during winter. Yes, you're gonna love it. Right now, during autumn season where the leaves change, I used to own stuff there. Oh my God. People come from all over for the leaf changing. I don't know about now, but it used to be that way. So it appears this time of the year, it looks great. Crowds, people are there, people are making money. Wintertime did kind of too. But after that, ooh, it's bad. That's why all those people that rushed over there building these properties, they're for sale now because they realized, oh my God, this is seasonal in all the wrong way. We don't have enough people coming here year round. So you could go through 4 or 5 months with nobody showing up. And then they had a loan. So now if you go 4 or 5 months, nobody's showing up and you have loans, that means you're coming out of your pocket. And you can't make enough during the high seasons, right? Like summer, fall. You can't make enough. So you're doing the old Florida thing, seasonal. Can I make enough money during the high season to pay for the rest of the year? I have to save all the profits just to find out if I can sustain our business for the next 7 months. That's where the problem comes in. Same thing. I would never recommend anybody invest in that area for short term or even long term, quite frankly. Um, Not at all. Uphold debit card. You can pay with your crypto. I love it. I love it. I have to look into Uphold, man. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you guys think down below. I didn't leave too much information um, right now, but I got to get up early in the morning. It's a special day, too. So it's going to be a rough night because my aunt needs a skin graft. And the skin graft guy comes at 8 a.m. in the morning. You know, guys, I don't like getting up at 7 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning. Come on now. This is crazy. But it's for family, so you know I'm getting up. It's just it just thinking about it. I'm thinking, yeah, man, I didn't realize that's right. I got to get up at like 6:45, 7, making sure we're gonna be there by 8. You know, uh, it's gonna be very very interesting. All right, ladies and gentlemen, down below in the description box on a lot of these platforms, I will have the loan resolution also in there with Tracy's info. I'll have where you can improve your credit with installment trade lines and credit cards from Self and Credit Strong to improve your credit score because you need a 775 by December 31, 2026. They are already giving people with a simple 730 credit score, 725, giving them 18-month interest only. Okay, that's not new. 21, I've never seen this one. 21 months until now. 21 months interest only. 24 months interest only. We haven't even hit the fan yet. Wait till we hit the fan. Then they're going to be giving people 30 months and 36 months interest only at 0%. I mean, 0% interest. I shouldn't say interest only, 0% interest for 18 months, 21 months, 24 months going down now. You know what's going to happen in a year? It's probably going to be 30, 36 months. 3 years, 0% interest. You better be jumping on it, but you're going to need a credit score to boot. So make sure you get that 775 and up. And if you need that help, you know where to go. You hit up Tracy, TRACY.sharpe, SHARPE at moneyladder.com via email. Hit the rewind button if you want to play it again. But again, that's going to help you out. Get your debt resolved in 1 year to 2 years. And you're not going to be able to use credit and all that. But hey, you got your debt resolved, and it comes out on the other side saying you have been a great person. You've paid us according to our deal, and that's what it reflects on your credit. So now it boosts back up, and you're in the ball game. Because remember, this 80% of people living paycheck to paycheck, oh, the credit markets are going to be jacked. Okay, they're not going to be that many people that's going to be able to qualify. So they're going to give the people that can qualify great, great, great deals. So you're going to have to take advantage of it along with the miles and all that stuff. I mean, they're going to be giving you a lot of stuff with that 780 score and up. So I just want you guys to remember this. Don't be out here thinking that, okay, you live paycheck to paycheck, that's fine. But make sure you get your credit score because you can live paycheck to paycheck. But the question is, what are you going to do? That's the $1 million question. What you should be doing is saying, okay, let me make sure my credit score is up there because you will be given exceptions. That's how they do it. So just be cool out there with that. Once you understand this, it makes your life easier. Get your credit score at 775 and up, and I'm you'll be doing the salsa dance in less than a year and a half. In fact, I actually think it's going to start happening. If yeah, I expect something to be coming in the mail right now. That's probably going to say 30 months or 36 months. I expect it sometime near the end of this year. Quite frankly, I expect to see that. So it's going to be very interesting. And we're talking about no qualifying. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, like, you know, there's like 10 cards here that are doing like 18 to 21, 24 months right now. I'm just like laughing. It's crazy. 10 offers. It's crazy. Every month. It's ridiculous. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And as I said already, I love you guys very much, but you got to make sure that you got to make investments that's going to give you passive income. All right. That's the first thing you're going to need. And you got 1 year, 3 months, soon to be 1 year, 2 months to get your act together. You're going to have a runway. We always have a runway. I give you a runway. I tell you the number because I need you guys to understand if you can't reach it, at least you're on your way and you're close at the 1 year, 3 months. So if it's 1 year, 6, 1 year, 4, okay. But you have to be on the path. You can't just sit idly by and go, oh my God, now we got a problem. No, you have to figure out what you need to do ahead of the curve. Don't sit there and procrastinate. And by the way, get your stuff under trust if you can. Again, it's made it a lot easier. Chat GPT. In fact, I think on Wednesday we're going to do some chat GPT, and I'm going to actually go in and show you guys, and we'll use a state, and then you'll see it's crazy how it goes. All right. Now, the only reason I'm saying this is because you can structure something and then go see a lawyer for estate planning, which will cost you less money, especially when you tell somebody to look at it, versus set it up, right? So you're talking about potentially saving yourself, I'll say 5 grand, 7 grand, 10 grand, right? Whereas you can pay less for them to review it, and then they'll say, "No, this may not work. You need to change that." That's a lot cheaper than going because you already have everything filled out and everything can be done, and they can look at it, and it's based on that state's law. So I'll let you guys pick which state, and then we'll go from there, and we'll actually just go look at, and they'll form it. And funny thing, they'll even do the PDF. They'll even put everything on there. What more can you ask for? And you can do so many different things. You can treat these things like a LLC better than an LLC because it's anonymous. Well, I shouldn't use the word anonymous. It's somewhat anonymous, depending on because nothing is in public records other than if you attach. Well, I should say it this way: the trust the name of the trust is public. But if nobody knows who owns the trust because they don't have the paperwork should not be public, right? So they'll just see the name, they'll see trustee, they'll see trustee is so and so of this trust. That's all they see. The grantor, which could be anybody, but see, oftentimes this is not public record, right? Just because you're the trustee does not mean you own anything, and you don't own anything because the trust owns it, right? See? So there you go. All right, we'll get to it. All right. I've been doing a lot of talking to some people, studying, of course, because I was like, wait a minute, this is actually like a corporation, like an LLC. It's like articles of incorporation. They're just like, yeah. I'm like, what the heck? I said, I'm going to go check this out. You should have never let me find this out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just remember, be safe out here because, um, there's a shooting almost every day. People are getting in arguments over nothing because situations are changing. People feel insecure. Here we go. Eric, I just received a speeding ticket from Italy from when we were there this past May. Oh, no, 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 no. Have you received any before? How did you handle it? It's 150 euros. Um, I've never, I generally don't drive when I'm outside the US unless I'm in a country that I feel comfortable, like Australia. I feel comfortable. I don't drive in the EU zone because I take subway, the metro, or trains. Um, so I don't know. I would just call over there and just ask them if you can send what bank can you deposit in the United States to pay it? Number one. Number two, can I give you a credit card or something? I'm pretty sure that ain't going to work either. Or is there a portal that I can pay? I mean, you have to treat it just like the US. I mean, you got to call them up for sure and see which ways. They might even say, send us what would they say? It's a euros. They're probably just going to say, send us a cashier's check. It has to be in euros. I mean, I think it's not going to be that hard. I mean, you're lucky it's in Italy. That's the way I look at it. You're in the EU zone. So there's going to be a way to pay. You might have to pay an extra fee if because you're using USDs, but you can go down to your favorite bank. It starts with a J. And let me see, you're in a major city. Yeah, so they should have something in euros. And but you definitely have to call them and see what payment forms you can do because you don't want that lingering. So next time you go to the EU zone, they're looking for you or flag you when you land and they say, oh, hey, to be over here, you got to give us like $250. No, you don't want none of that happening. So you got to just call over there and see how you can pay. They'll give you a few options, whether it's snail mail or whatever, but it's going to cost you more than 150. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to cost you more than 150. Got it. Okay. Yes, I used US. Oh, here we go. What did you use? Yes, I used both USDL and International DL. It was a rental vehicle. That's how they found us. Avis Rental probably provided my address. Yes, they did. Welcome to the rest of the world. Your privacy is not protected. Hell yeah. They were like, we're not paying it. This is the guy right here. In fact, you want a picture? Come on down. No, but seriously, in all seriousness, actually, when you landed, now they're going to hit you up anyhow because they have your passport info. They have your info. So either way, you're going to pay it. It just depends on how you're going to pay it. You're going to pay 150 or, well, okay, 150 or you're going to pay 195 or you're going to pay 295. That's the question. I've never had that situation, but I already know what's going to happen. So just call them up, man, and just say, hey, I'm in the USA. I just need to know how to send you money. And they'll tell you. They've had it happen before. See, got it. Yeah, I've heard of that. That Revolut card's been out a while. I never figured that was going to take off, but I'm glad it did. If you can free currency conversion, that's interesting. You can load from USA account and convert in your wallet. Oh, you're talking about Revolut, and you have a card, so it turns it into euros. That's cool. That's a good that's great. I'm glad that actually happened because that's what people are going to need. Again, you guys don't. Again, it's great to be able to go and deal with business outside the USA. Because again, I have cards from other entities that are outside. I don't have Revolut, and it's treated a whole different way than US because they're not. Even though they probably track you, but they're not just blatantly trying to track you. You just load money up. Here's my card number, and no biggie. Just not based on USA uh, Visa or Mastercard. It's Euro Visa or Mastercard. So it works the same way. It has a logo worldwide. It works. They never ask, it's from USA. Is it from Europe? Is it from Australia? You know, it has the logo. USA knows nothing about it. That's all I'm saying. It's a beautiful world out here. Oh, yes. They sent me a payment portal. Okay, I'll pay. I don't want to have a problem with the Italians. I know some U.S. tourists don't pay attention to that, but not me. Yeah, I would advise you right now. Don't mess around. Just get it out the way and keep a receipt all the time. Keep the receipt. That's one of those. Keep it with your IRS paper. Keep the receipts and take a picture. Have it on your phone. Something, because you can go to Italy and they'll be like, we don't show no record of it. Yeah. So, yeah, you don't want to have no problems. I'm glad they got you a portal. I figured there would be one. It's not going to be that hard. But yeah, I don't really drive too many places when I go outside the country because I just don't feel comfortable. Italy, which I actually never been to Italy, so um, I might drive there, but unlikely. In the EU zone, I don't see no reason to drive because I'm just going to places where the train tracks go. That's where I'm going. Ordinary citizen locations. I'm not going off to the countryside. I'm not doing some extracurricular activities. I'm going on the metros and the fast moving trains. That's it. No reason to have a car. As far as I'm concerned, I don't need a car. But most major cities in the EU zone have subways, metros, so it's all good. And they have fast trains. So, and they're cheap, fast trains. That's the other thing. An Uber ride can get you through a few countries. That's how crazy it is. Think of Uber ride from the Atlanta airport, Uber ride from the Las Vegas airport, Uber ride from the Sacramento airport to the city. And these guys are now talking about 35, $40. I could be in the EU zone and go to other countries for 35 or $40, let alone a freaking crosstown ride. That's ridiculous, man. It's sad. Don't let me get on another one. Anyhow, thank you guys so much for being here once again. Be safe out there. I'll see you on Wednesday night for the Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. And just make sure, Marcel Perez Torres, I see you. Thank you for joining. Make sure you guys smash the like buttons no matter where you're watching from, and watch the replay if you have not seen the whole thing yet. And again, be safe out there. And no matter what you do, make sure you keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.